Welcome to the multi-fidget spinner build. Okay, so I decided to take the fidget and the spinner and put it together. So this is a four-way. Got a little rattle this way. Got the actual spinning. You've got a rocker switch here on top, and then just a simple silent button. This build all can be done for less than a couple bucks. What are you going to need? You're going to need a 1/2 inch coupler fitting, toggle switch, which I will show the information in below, a small piece of pipe, 1/2 inch. I've actually cut it here, split it for this. Number 10, 24 times 1.5 inch screws. Number 10, 32 nylon lock nuts. A 3/16 drill bit with a nice little spike on top. Drill, pencil, file, pipe cutter for that. So with all my builds, I'm trying to always make them as cheap as possible, but as easy as possible. I had a more complex approach and I just simplified it. And sometimes with engineering, certainly, simple is better. Now on these are actually functional switches. And I'm going to trim these off with the pliers and trim the center one off. File it down flush with the black plastic piece here on both cases, and that's so that you can clear the inside of the couple of it, because this slips right down in here. Okay, locks really in place, and then with this sleeve here you can push it down in with the split. That's what the advantage of the split is, and then push this right down in here like this. Now the thing to know is you could certainly super glue this in and super glue that in, but you don't necessarily need to. As you can see, it stays in place. And of course this in itself would be kind of a nice little fidget and cost you less than $2. But I wanted to take it one step further to give it this little action and of course the spinning piece. And not everybody has those, skateboard race bearings, and so I wanted to come up with a different option that folks could use. The most complicated part of this build is probably trying to find the center of this coupler fitting, and it is right at, I'll use the more graduated scale, 1 inch and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8, 1 5/8. Okay, which means half that distance would be 6.5. Drilling a straight hole in this is pretty important, and getting it in the center is pretty important because you want to balance out the fidget. So I've come up with this way. I take 2 T connectors, and this is a 2-inch piece of scrap pipe. Put them down there like that. Measure it out. 30 seconds. Mark the center. Kind of cheated, I've already done this, but I just want to make sure I got it right. And then here you can see some faint lines, and I'm using that to get the top of the pipe. So line that up on the other side. Draw it, and there you go. Take the drill bit, place it in there, make sure you're straight. Put the tip right at the mark and go. So once you got the hole drilled, it's a pretty simple thing. You take the 1.5 inch number 10, put a washer on there just to give it a little friction, prevent friction. Washer on the other side. I'm using a lock nut here. nylon lock nut. You don't want to tighten it completely. Get a wrench on one side, screwdriver on the other. Get it till you're right about there. And that's it. Simple build. Now, does it spin as much as good as the ball bearing skateboard things? No, but it still gives you that action, and it combines a couple extra fidgets, and you're not spending the crazy amount of money I'm seeing on the internet for this. Give it a shot. Less than $2. The boys really like it. It feels really good in their hand. Always welcome comments and thumbs up.